Hello, everyone, and welcome to this, our fourth and final match of our 2+ days of broadcasts of the U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament. This an under-18 contest. My name is Jeff Childs, and very pleased to bring you this final broadcast of the weekend for the National League Tournament. Well, this final match features the Fullerton Rangers wearing black today out of Fullerton, California. They're coached by Kenneth Castellanos. And on the other side in white, the Lehigh Valley United 97 coming here to North Carolina from Allentown, Pennsylvania, and they are coached by Michael Gorney. Well, taking a few moments to catch my breath as our last broadcast went into extra time, with that one ending in a 4-4 tie, but a thrilling event, and we can only hope that this final match elicits a similar kind of ending. The Fullerton Rangers coming here, trying to improve their play after last season. They suffered a close call to end the season here in the National League Tournament, but they're, of course, taking aim at a top 2 finish in the Blue Division and the berth that could bring them to the 2016 Youth Soccer National Championships as we're underway here. Fullerton Rangers wearing black and Lehigh Valley United in white. Fullerton starting things off in their own end as they play it up the near side right in front of us, goes out of bounds. And that's Jacob Barron tosses in for the Rangers. Whistle blows, and now a free out for Lehigh Valley. And there's a high kick from Christopher Schlegel. Schlegel, though, sees it taken back by Fullerton. Here comes Fullerton with a nice stop and a jab step, and here's a pass into the box, bounding in there. And Jelani Ambrose looking for his teammate, but no one home. And the goaltender of Lehigh Valley United will send this one deep into the middle circle in midfield, headed back. And Jake Stengel had played it there for the midfield for Lehigh Valley. Fullerton. So a quick update for you and a number change. Alexis Diaz, normally wearing number 10, and he's wearing it in honor of his teammate and friend, Jelani Ambrose, who's unable to play today. So Diaz now in 17 in honor of his friend. Fullerton collects it in their own end, far sideline. Defenders played off to the side, now upfield. That pass, though, picked off. Brian Gilligan there, and now here's Fullerton. Fullerton with some numbers here. Cutting inside, and the pass in, and looking for the sliding tackle there. And that's Alexis Diaz, whom we just mentioned, normally wearing number 10, wearing number 17 today in honor of Jelani Ambrose. Fullerton from the left corner, sending that one into the box off ahead and out. And Lehigh Valley the chance for the goal kick. And very glad to bring you our fourth and final match on our second day of broadcasts for the U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament. Our culminating match this afternoon and evening, the under-18 matchup with the Lehigh Valley United out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, facing off with the Fullerton Rangers from Fullerton, California. And Fullerton representing the Cal South side, and they put on a strong showing in this very league last year. They finished just 2 points behind the Red Division leaders, and they want more this season. And aiming right for it, here's Diaz. Diaz centering a pass, though. Kicked away to safety. Lehigh Valley just a little too slow on that opportunity. John Painter there couldn't catch up to that one. Painter, though, did get ahead on that one there. Sees it over to Evan Vare, number 4. And the ball skitters behind some trash receptacles there, and Lehigh Valley will have to toss in. Christopher Schlegel throws in. And now here's Lehigh Valley on the attack. Knock that one down, comes back to Schlegel. He'll fire one into the box. Patted away, and Fullerton tried to go the other way, but Lehigh Valley right back with it. Here's Painter. Painter looking for J.R. Edsel. Painter gets the ball again. Having some trouble with it. Great defense there from David Cabral. Brian Gilligan. Gilligan sends it downfield. That's stopped off a chest by Ibrahim Tankara. And referees say it went out, so they'll give possession to Lehigh Valley. The toss in. Leaving it there, trying to center. That first attempt blocked. And Fullerton tried to move it up quickly, but Painter again. One headed back. Christopher Schlegel. Schlegel a long one in, looked for Evan Vare. Vare lost it. Here Fullerton. Fullerton near side. There's a high boot looking for middle of the field. Stolen away, Fullerton. Chip pass over and gets it back. Alexis Diaz, and the whistle blows. And booted back by the Lehigh Valley goalkeeper. Sends one over midfield. Lehigh turning in the circle. Evan Vare gets it up. Fullerton emerging from the defensive end. And there's a boot from the Fullerton defense, knocked down off the chest as we have another ball enters play. Lehigh Valley United, the free kick from their own end. There's a high, towering kick. That one landing in the goal box, but grabbed up. The one-handed drop kick and the boot from the keeper. Fullerton. Alexis Diaz. And there's a save looking for Renee Santillan. And teams volleying with it here. Someone trying to come up with possession. Fullerton finally has it on the ground as Painter collides with Jacob Barron for Fullerton. Number 19's there, two number 19s getting together. Some nice moves there by Lehigh Valley United, but the pass goes nowhere. And Farron swipes it by. Here's Fullerton trying to go on the attack, but it's taken away. Lehigh Valley. Fullerton keeps it in. That one goes off the official. Lehigh Valley United also accomplished on their journey here to Wilson, North Carolina. Back for another campaign and looking to improve on their middle-of-the-pack finish a few seasons ago. Fullerton sets up the free kick, sending it towards the goal, knocked away. Fullerton tries to set it up again here. It's a high pass in the front, knocked away by Painter, but right to Fullerton. The shot just going wide and out of bounds. And Lehigh Valley, after finishing the Region 1 championships, they lost 1-0 to 2014 national champion Baltimore Celtic. We brought one of their games to you yesterday, but they did advance to nationals to represent Region 1, where Baltimore advanced as the National League winner. And Lehigh Valley last season, as they kicked this one away, started strong in Tulsa for this event last year, but dropped another tight game to Baltimore. On the final day of group play, and on the other end, Lehigh Valley strikes first, and they lead 1-0. That ball just sort of landing haphazardly in the goal box, and Lehigh Valley pounced on it, and they lead 1-0. And a Lehigh Valley group, we told you about a few of their disappointments last season, but nothing but smiles here today so far as they lead 1-0 on the scoreboard over Fullerton. Here's Barron. Barron sliding it over to midfield. That ball intended for Alexis Diaz, but too far. Here's Barron again, trying to find traction in the mud as these fields absolutely tore up. The girls' event last weekend and now the both boy age divisions this weekend. Barron again. Far side. Jacob Aldana looked for the pass, but there was some more contact and a whistle. And there's a header. Fullerton trying to defend. Brian Gilligan had it for a moment for Lehigh Valley. Fullerton, far side. They'll boot a long pass in, and Lehigh Valley will just let it go to their keeper. Sending a high kick away into the Fullerton end. Here's John Painter. Painter looking to the middle of the field, and here may be a break for Lehigh, but caught up to that was Aaron Rudich breaking down the left side for Fullerton. Or Lehigh Valley, excuse me. Fullerton lets the long kick go. That one headed off to the side and kicked right back in to the Fullerton end. Fullerton comes out of the zone. A short pass to Alexis Diaz. Diaz now in the middle. Stop on a move, cuts back over to his left, gets the pass away. And there's a boot in front of the goal and calmly caught. And the Lehigh Valley goalkeeper looking for John Painter, just over his head. Here's Diaz, wearing number 17 in honor of his friend Jelani Ambrose, who's unable to go today. Lehigh Valley tripping over another Fullerton player, and quickly back to his feet. Of course, in some of these collisions, we always have the added bonus, if you will, of some theatrics. Both players attempting to curry favor with the officials, maybe add a little bit extra time that could prove useful later. And here's Lehigh Valley sending one to the middle of the box. Trying to find the rebound. There it is, and the shot in on goal is stopped. Here's Lehigh Valley, far side. Looking for Cameron Shava, but that one rolls out. Fullerton almost gave that one up to Lehigh Valley, but a clever swipe away and out of harm's way. Fullerton. And Jacob Barron slips in the mud, and the ball goes over to Lehigh Valley. Christopher Schlegel tosses into the corner. That one, an attempted centering pass, goes out. Schlegel triggers and kicked out again by Fullerton. And there's one in on goal. Headed away. Schlegel sends another one high, looking for the header and leaping over and contact with the Fullerton defender. This one's sent to the middle field, though. Picked off Lehigh Valley. Here's an opportunity. Oh, and this nicely moved out of the way, Fullerton defensively. Fullerton at midfield. Here's Barron. Barron has a player of small stature but can really move. Fullerton sends it along the far sideline. Fullerton trying to set up their offense. And that shot partially blocked. And this one isn't right to the goal, but gobbled up by the Lehigh Valley goaltender. That kick hangs in the air for a very long time, but Fullerton kicking it to safety. Oh, and given right up to Fullerton. That's Alexis Diaz. Here's Diaz along the left side. He'll shoot and blocked. Lehigh Valley in the lead, 1-0. Almost to the 22-minute mark of the first half. Here's this one, a long shot in, right into the goal mouth. Painter had triggered for Lehigh Valley. The referee blows it down. Here's both teams in quite a battle. Lehigh Valley, the 1-0 lead, but still, despite the lead, not really asserting themselves offensively as a few shots have gone wide. And Fullerton trying to answer here, down 1-0. First half, and here's a pass. Looking ahead, and Lehigh Valley in the clear. And Lehigh Valley at 2-1 down low. Going in on goal and swiped away with the hands. The Fullerton keeper. A good hands play indeed, and that quite possibly prevented a 2-0 lead for Lehigh Valley. Very dangerous 2-on-1 down low for Lehigh Valley United. And snatched to safety, and we're still 1-0. Fullerton has been very careless defensively in their own end, and offensively, not much to speak of. And there's a header away looking for Ibrahim Tankara. And he's had a few chances here offensively and had one on that 2-on-1. Back down low, Evan Vare. Vare centers in the header and a save made. Save again and still 1-0 Lehigh Valley. Putting on all the pressure here offensively, and it's been very tough for Fullerton to get out of their own end. Fullerton very fortunate they're not down by more than a goal. Fullerton simply playing it back to their keeper. He'll send a long one to the sideline, though this one out of bounds. And a series of Lehigh Valley United to enter the game. Brian Daugherty and Tyler Madera coming in. Here's Fullerton upfield having a lot of trouble combating those midfielders. Christopher Schlegel. Schlegel the high kick. Goes Fullerton back the other way, trying to get around that first wave of Lehigh Valley midfielders, and they do. And here's a chance for Fullerton. Having the ball deep in the Lehigh Valley zone, a rarity so far in this match. And they give it right back, Lehigh Valley, knowing they're in control. Carlos Maldonado had the ball briefly for Fullerton in the offensive end and turned over. Here's Lehigh Valley. Evan Vare pressing. And the Lehigh Valley, both their forwards and their midfield, very aggressive and not allowing much to get past the midfield line. And here's a chance. Here's a chance for Fullerton, and just offside as the referee raises the flag. As that was Alexis Diaz, who thought he was in the clear, but just a little too anxious. Stephen Gaber coming in as well for Lehigh Valley. Here comes the free kick from Lehigh Valley, taken back by Fullerton. They find themselves at midfield. Fullerton turning it over. And a nice move to get around the oncoming forward. Here's Lehigh Valley with a long pass up the side. That one will fall out. 27 minutes gone here, half number one. Lehigh Valley in front 1-0. There's a pass blocked at midfield. John Painter. Painter gets it over to Edsold. Edsold in turn hands it off Tyler Madera. Here's Madera left side. Madera will try and send one to the front, blocked. Lehigh Valley, of course, their struggles known in Tulsa from last year. They dropped a final game to Baltimore on the last day of group play, and they missed out on a semifinal berth in Nationals a year ago. And the team from Pennsylvania hungry to have success in the National League and all the way back to the national championships. Schlegel the inbounds. That one sent out again. And a nice chip pass over the head of the Lehigh forward. But Lehigh gets it back again. Here's Lehigh. Nice play inside. They get it back outside. Centered in the box. No one home. This one in front of the goal, but Fullerton kicks it away. Fullerton boots that inbounds pass away, but Lehigh Valley right back with it. Fullerton trying to generate some offense. Here's a long pass to Diaz, but out of bounds and out of his reach. Here's a strong kick, but that one out of bounds as well. And as the sun falls, we've enjoyed quite the warm temperatures here, leading to a record amount of rain in Wilson and Rocky Mount the last 45 days. That would account for the poor field conditions. And this event really a launching pad for further soccer success. Many alumni of this tournament have gone on to play in the NCAA College Cup, the MLS, the NWSL, and the UEFA Champions League, and the greatest honor in soccer, the FIFA World Cup. And there's a nice kick over to Diaz. He'll kick up the mud, but still gain possession. And here's Fullerton. Maybe a little 2-on-1 here, but the Lehigh Valley defenders very quickly back. And a foul called. And the Lehigh Valley team extremely upset. Now Lehigh Valley forming that wall as Fullerton gets a tremendous opportunity. They've not played much on the Lehigh Valley offensive side of the field. But a chance here from Carlos Maldonado. And he'll wait, and a quick pass to the corner. Here's Fullerton. They'll fire one over, looking for the header, knocked away. And the rebound, and there's a shot and a save. Maldonado contributing to that chance. Lehigh Valley inbounds as we get closer and closer to the end of our first half of play. They lead 1-0. Fullerton having to play a lot of defense here to combat that Lehigh Valley onslaught. They just come in waves and continue to press. Fullerton keeper plays it up to Barron. Here's Barron along the far side. Finds his mates, but tripped up and right back to Lehigh Valley, although here we go back to the action. Lehigh Valley, a nice move at center, and tumbling over. Anwar Zain in on the contact for Fullerton.
Jake, put yourself in the mix. Hey, Levi, find Jake.
Here is Lehigh Valley from the middle circle, sending that one to the far left of the goal. Headed back in front, though, kicked away. Fullerton now. Fullerton far side, got a couple of numbers here. 5 forwards up, and a sliding tackle knocked away. Nice anticipation from Colin Muller. Fullerton resets the offense. Barron. They'll send a hard, low shot to the middle, but accepted off the pass. And here's Diaz. Diaz shooting, blocked. Lehigh Valley the chance. But Barron kicks out. And a few substitutions for Fullerton, as Michael Day will check in. Lehigh Valley. Painter finds himself with the ball. That kick is knocked down and play the other way. Tyler Madera. Lehigh Valley again. Still playing with a lot of passion and a lot of hard work. The ball always seems to find them. That's what we've seen thus far. Fullerton. Turning with it, the ball trapped down there in the mud, but now Lehigh Valley giving it back up, a little give and go play. Fullerton going to go to the front of the net and just lose possession. That's a nice play off the side of the foot and slide tackled out. Michael Unis coming in. We're Lehigh Valley. Here comes Fullerton with a rare opportunity, and the kick into the goal box is swatted down. Lehigh Valley just sends it to midfield. Tyler Madera, ball going towards him, but now Fullerton. Fullerton player tripped. Brian Dearty there getting tripped. .39 minutes gone here in the first half and the match. And it's still just a 1-0 lead for Lehigh Valley. Fullerton tries to center and defended well. Lehigh Valley very stout defensively in their own end. Every time Fullerton looks like they might have a lane to the goal, Lehigh Valley player right there to meet them. Sorry. The corner kick, low kick inside the goal box, but defended away. Fullerton will just send a high kick in on goal, and that's stopped. And a little longer period than usual of offensive time for Fullerton. Now Lehigh Valley back in possession. They'll play it right to their defender. He'll kick a low shot to the far side. This one landing right in the circle. 2 players going for it and missing. Fullerton trying to get possession, and they do. Here's Fullerton down the far side. And the referee's flag is raised, and the ball goes out of bounds. Here's Lehigh Valley. They send that one right to the corner, but swatted away again. Evan Vare. Vare giving it up here. Lehigh Valley trying to add to their 1-0 lead as they scored in the first few minutes of the half. And here's Fullerton. They might have a break along the right side and shield it off again. Mason Minster played it, and there's a shot and gets no one. Bit of a lull in the action here as Lehigh Valley continues to lead 1-0. Here, both players using the arm to try to fend off the other, and Fullerton comes away. Playing it down the sideline, a chip pass. Fullerton getting it back here as it bounces around between a few players. Just a couple of minutes left here in the first half, barring any extra time added. We'll keep you abreast of any of those time changes. Fullerton player stops it. And Fullerton definitely ramping up their game in this part of the first half. They played a lot more in the Lehigh Valley zone. They adjusted any schemes, and here's a chance and a shot, a save. Along the left side, a low shot. And Lehigh Valley's goaltender had to dive to his right, but he gets his body in front, and still 1-0. But that play gives Fullerton the opportunity for a corner kick as the Lehigh Valley goaltender the last to touch. Here's the corner kick, going to land right to the far side of the goal and grabbed in the air and snatched. Lehigh Valley goaltender just punts this one to midfield. That ball headed back, and here's Lehigh Valley on the attack. Here's a long shot. Safe distance, though. No chance of going in. The Fullerton Rangers coached by Kenneth Castellanos. And again, their goal, a top 2 finish in the National League Blue Division after a close call last season, and of course the subsequent berth in the National Championships. But they have a little bit of work to here, down 1-0. Looks like we'll add 1 minute of extra time to the first half. And Fullerton now, they take a shot, and that's a save made. The Lehigh Valley goaltender a little bit unsure of himself. He knocked it down, but the hand's a little shaky. And a high punt to midfield. Ends up back to Fullerton, though, near the end of the half. They got a chance to tie it, and a sliding tackle knocked away back to Fullerton. Pass off to the side, and another sliding tackle. Fullerton gets around him and centers, and a save made. And another shot that's deflected. A third one off the head, and a fourth one blocked as well. The Lehigh Valley defender selling out to block shots. And a flurry of activity by Fullerton, trying to knot the game at the end of the first half. But fended off nicely by the Lehigh Valley defense. And John Painter will send one deep. Fullerton reverses course, and maybe one last rush down the field, and some tight play in on the sideline, but knocked away. And with that, the official's whistle will blow, and that ends our first half of play. Lehigh Valley on top of Fullerton, 1-0. You're watching the final match of our 2 days of broadcasts of the U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament on Torbeau Sports Network. I don't do that stuff, man.
You should do it,
I
man.
probably could. I don't know.
You should try it. If they score a goal, you should try it.
Okay. match of this 4-day tournament, and there's a near goal for Lehigh Valley right off the bat. And Fullerton attacking Lehigh Valley and grabbing this jersey of the player there. David Cabro a little too loose with the hands and grabbing the jersey of the Lehigh player. And this is our final half of our final game and our 2 days of broadcast. And we're happy to bring to you the U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament on Torbeau Sports Network, part of the Torbeau Sports Group. My name is Jeffrey Childs, and I've been more than pleased to bring all the soccer action to you this weekend. Fullerton now getting out of their own end. They turn it over. Lehigh Valley from midfield into the far corner. And Lehigh Valley player gave the Fullerton defender a bit of a shove, and then he falls over. That's Alexis Diaz. Stands up, makes the play. And Fullerton sliding and shoved over again, and some rough contact to begin our second half. Lehigh Valley just a 1-0 lead and a chance for Fullerton. They've had a handful in the first half, but haven't been able to find the back of the net so far. Here's Fullerton firing into the goal and looking for the deflection. Tended away nicely. Diaz looking for Rene Santillan there on the deflection and the header. Over in midfield, Fullerton plays it. Lehigh Valley plays it back to their goaltender, and here is Fullerton again, midfield. Lehigh Valley trying to twist and turn in the tight quarters and get around, and both players tangled up in the mud there, tripping over each other. Jake Stengel throws it in. Looking for a teammate in the far corner. Gets it back, though. And again, as he cuts to the middle of the field, sealed off well by Fullerton and a whistle. As dusk falls on our final match and our final set of broadcasts for you here this afternoon as we enter the evening hours. Here's Evan Vare. Evan Vare going to look for that far corner. A little too much mustard on the kick, as that shot missed the top left corner. Fullerton on their own end, they'll just chip one over. That'll cross the boundary marker and out. Stengel pivots and throws that one in, headed off. And out back to Fullerton. They'll toss it in a long throw in, but Lehigh Valley looking to add to their lead. Back in the offensive, chipped away nicely. Here's Lehigh Valley. A bouncing ball, but it goes out. And Cameron Shava had the chance there on the right side. He's already got one goal and the lone goal for Lehigh Valley, up 1-0 in this final match in the under-18 bracket for the U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament. Fullerton. Down the field and chipped over. Rene Santalon. He gets it back in midfield, though, as it trickles out. And Fullerton. Fullerton just losing possession. Boy, they've had their chances in the first half and to start the second. Lehigh Valley controls far side. And knocked into the corner, and another whistle. Fullerton drops it in play, and they'll kick it ahead. And here we go, back to the action. Fullerton trying to exit their zone. Intercepted Lehigh Valley. Great ball control at the midfield line. Kicked, stopped, over to the corner, headed into the middle, no one there. And this one going to get all the way down. A Fullerton forward, steaming in on it. And slowing down, but Fullerton has it anyway. They got two men on the left side. As Rene Santalon tripping, and then a hard foul. Middle of the field. Aaron Rudich goes down in an absolute heap. And he needs a moment to collect himself after that collision. And back to the action as Fullerton will send this one right into the middle of the field. They look for the header, can't connect. And here's Fullerton, some nice moves in, though, cut off. Lehigh Valley defense ever aware. And that pass goes wayward, but picked up anyway. And here's a long one in, and they're going to call offside. Far side of the field, Melchor Gomez. Gomez getting it over to Anwar Harb. And the ball being battled for at midfield. Lehigh Valley United, the free kick from midfield. And there it is, looking, sending it to the far left post, and the header just bounces wide. As night falls on us here in Wilson, North Carolina, the balmy temperatures to start the day have given way to a crisp air this evening. Lehigh Valley holding a 1-0 lead and trying to maintain that. Fend off the furious Fullerton rally. And there's a one sent to the front of the goal and just missing. That kick just off target. And it rolls all the way over to the adjacent field. Fullerton now. Booted, tipped, gets it to midfield. Fullerton finally exiting their zone. And Lehigh Valley content to just drive that one practically into the woods. That one's still rolling. It finally comes to rest behind the bleacher area. And now back into play, and here we go. Diaz triggering. Here's Diaz, a high kick, trying to find that elusive header, and he can't quite get it. But on the rebound, stopped and dropped, but Lehigh Valley comes away. Now they have numbers. Players racing down the field. Here's maybe a 2-on-1 if they can get to the edge. Coming to the inside, still with it, dropping it back, and there's a shot, and they score! That is a goal if we've ever seen one, folks. And now Lehigh Valley, the way they've played this afternoon, potentially an insurmountable 2-0 lead for a Fullerton squad that's had issues generating time of possession on the offensive side. Very happy to bring you this broadcast, folks, as I've been told that doing a splendid job by the gallery next to me. And I've enjoyed bringing it to you, and I hope you've enjoyed watching as well at our final contest of the U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament here in Wilson, North Carolina. And going back to that goal, that was a nice bit of offense, moving the ball around, sharing the ball, and getting a final good look at the goal and making no mistake, and it's 2-0 Lehigh Valley. And they get one over the head with the goalkeeper having to come all the way out and kicking it back. Lehigh Valley on the attack again. They'll send one ahead. Over to Ibrahim Tankora, and he was in on their second goal, picking up an assist. Fullerton now maybe running out of time. They're going to have to do quite a bit to overcome this lead, but maybe a chance here, and still with it and shooting and just rolling across the goal mouth. Fullerton inches away from pulling to within a goal. And these two, part of the top 80 boys teams from across the nation, playing in this ultimate soccer tournament, the National League. It's gained a lot of prestige over the years for putting players into the collegiate and professional ranks. Booted away here by the Lehigh Valley goalkeeper. That one sent in off two headers. Lehigh Valley now wanting to add one more to the ledger. They're already up 2-0. And here we go. Here's an opportunity, but that pass failed to click. Near the goal box, Fullerton. Running perpendicular to the field, and they get it over there, giving it up, getting it back. And here's a chance for Fullerton, maybe their best opportunity in close range this evening. Sending one to the middle field and shooting, and a save made. The Lehigh Valley keeper, his best save of the evening, and keeps it a 2-goal margin. That was Aaron Ruddich on the chance there for Fullerton.
Over them, JR there. JR, come on, getting silly now.
Free kick from midfield. That one in on goal, knocked away, but Fullerton has it again. They shoot from the top of the box and covered up nicely. And the Lehigh Valley tender punts one high, but back to midfield, and Fullerton pressing on the attack again. Now down 2, they have to try to do something to get back into this match. Fullerton deking and dodging there with the ball, can't do anything with it, sends it back to Alexis Diaz, and a shot going high. And a few players being exchanged for Lehigh Valley. Brian Deardy, 21, coming in for United 97. Excuse me, that's Byron Deardy. And Michael Day enters for Fullerton. The Rangers could use a little bit of ranging offensively as they trail 2-0 and have had trouble generating offense this afternoon. Fullerton, a nice pass over. Get it to Michael Day. Here's Day, gives it up to Diaz. And a Lehigh Valley, as soon as and some nice footwork in close. Jacob Aldana, and that one falls out. And Lehigh Valley, a nice move to exit the zone, but they give it up. Ball pinballing in there. Nobody seems to be able to get control of it. Now Fullerton. And this dark and dirty field kicking up more mud as the field conditions have not been ideal, to say the least. But teams have played tough and played through it all weekend. We've had some very entertaining matchups, including our last one that ended in a 4-4 tie. And a slight delay here. Officials trying to figure out possession. Both coaches having a few words. And tossed in as the floodlights begin to illuminate the field number 4. And there's a long, lofting pass. Bounces off a few players, but Lehigh Valley still with it. Fullerton tries to exit the zone. That denied. And a sliding tackle again. And Fullerton, no time to ruminate here on what could have been any sort of injury or altercation. They've got to score goals, and they've got to score fast as time starts to tick. And a rushing opportunity. Lehigh Valley defense very smart in their placement, trying to challenge and get in front of every ball and make it very tough for Fullerton to get anywhere near their goal. Fullerton far side trying the long pass. That one knocked away. And Fullerton comes up with, looks like someone stepped out. Lehigh Valley, the free kick right near the goal, off the deflection and just wide. Lehigh Valley another shot, that one wide as well. And a great chance to pad the lead to 3-0. And here comes the long boot from the Fullerton keeper, gets it to midfield. Fullerton trying to gain the outside edge, and he keeps it in just barely. As both players fight for it as it goes out. Well, the U.S. Youth Soccer National League tournament is online and available to you. If you have any questions about the tournament this weekend or crave any information of any kind, it's there for you. You can visit their website at usyouthsoccer.org. And the National League likes to talk about how their tournament bring some of the best teams together in the country for meaningful matches, and we've seen our share, including our third match of today, which ended in a dramatic 4-4 tie. One team had 1-goal leads 3 different occasions, and then fell behind and then tied in extra time. And this match as well, very entertaining. Here's Lehigh Valley. They head one into the Fullerton end. And a sliding play, nice play by J.R. Edsold. He keeps that one from going out. And a shank kick, and now Fullerton having to get that one away quickly. It was a and here's a play to the left side, right side. Jake Stengel. Shoot and partially deflected in on goal. Oh, and a tumble right near the midfield circle. A nice show of sportsmanship. As Michael Day helped up Brian Gilligan, who fell. And here's Lehigh Valley and shoved to the ground. And coach is clamoring for some late contact. And Anwar Zain Harb felt the contact. And the ball back in the Fullerton end. They got to clear quickly here. And that one kicked right out of bounds, giving Fullerton the corner. Lehigh Valley content to do just that. And Lehigh Valley, a very sound game plan. They've really denied Fullerton even to get to midfield, much less the offensive zone this afternoon. And it's been really tough for Fullerton to find much of anything on offense. And there's a headed play over Lehigh Valley now. Kicked away, but right back in off the other header. Fullerton sending that one over to the far side, and that one goes out. Carlos Maldonado triggers in. And here we go, back to the action. Fullerton down 2-0. The final minutes here of the second half. They send that one ahead. Sent back again. Here's Fullerton going 1-on-0 here, stepping through. A nice pass and a shot that's blocked. And another shot, and off the top of the crossbar. Did it go in? Fullerton, boy, the fates have not been kind to them today. That one, oh so close to crossing the goal line, hitting the underside of the crossbar, and it stayed out. Oh, just tough luck for the Fullerton Rangers. See and sense the frustration from their bench coming that close to pulling to within one. Mere minutes remaining. Renee Santillan and Aaron Rudich made that play happen. We close in on the final 15 or so minutes left in this one. And a sliding tackle and a nice play by Fullerton, trying to keep the ball on their offensive side. And the Fullerton players, you can sense and almost feel their frustration. Here's Lehigh Valley giving it up and getting it back, centering to the front of the goal. There's a chance, and just knocked out of danger. Tanner Shane there for Lehigh Valley, sending that one to the front of the goal. And Cameron Shava also attacking. He already has one goal on the afternoon. And that gives Lehigh Valley a glorious chance, already up 2-0, to set in cruise control and perhaps send in their bench if they go up 3-0. And here we go, and a shot in on goal blocked away. The wall ended up proving very useful for Fullerton. Tanner Shane with the shot.
Adrian with knowledge. Adrian with knowledge. Keep working, Black. Come on, boy.
And here we go, Lehigh Valley cutting in and outside there. And they try to send that one in, and the whistle blows. Here's Levi Roberts. Roberts towards the front of the goal, looking for that sliding bicycle kick, no dice. Fullerton, the two-hand toss in. And they'll repeat it. And we'd like to take a quick moment and thank all of you for tuning in all over the internet from wherever you are and watching our two broadcasts of the U.S. Youth Soccer National League on the Torbeau Sports Network all weekend long. My name is Jeff Childs. Been pleased to bring it to you in all the action. And we've seen some tremendous soccer played this weekend in Wilson, North Carolina, as Fullerton advances up the field. Another flag and a stoppage. The long kick on the inbound, going to sail right to the far corner. No one home. And Lehigh Valley will just punt this one down the field. And now here comes Lehigh Valley. They got a man up in the middle, cutting to the inside. Getting it, giving it up. Here's Lehigh Valley. Some great footwork to throw it in. Michael Unis there on the attack. And a sliding tackle in a collision. J.R. Edsold sacrificing his body. Lehigh Valley moving in tight quarters. Ball gets away, and Fullerton going to send it upfield, the short pass. Looking to Alexis Diaz. Normally number 10, but wearing number 17 in honor of his injured friend Jelani Ambrose this afternoon. And there's Fullerton trying to orchestrate the offense at midfield, but Lehigh Valley Lehigh Valley on the attack. And a couple of men down low, but that ball still knocked away, and a save made by the Fullerton keeper. Fullerton's coach Kenneth Castellanos urging his team to move quickly. The time is running out, and they trail 2-0. Out of bounds, Fullerton getting the corner kick here. They had just missed on a previous trip down offensively. A shot hit the underside of the crossbar and stayed out. That's the kind of luck they've had this match and this weekend. And Lehigh Valley just booted one. That nearly hit the referee in the head. Evan Vair just lost sight of where he was on the field. And the official can sort of chuckle about it now, but that was life and death for a moment there. As Fullerton plays it back in their own end. That's why I'm a broadcaster, and I don't play, folks. Would not have been able to make that play. Here's Fullerton, one final opportunity, though shielded away. Nice play by the Lehigh Valley defense. And grabbed onto the jersey the entire way. And so players grappling and fighting here, getting into it, and there will be some definite suspensions as both sides tempers boil over. And both benches running into it down here in the far corner as the referees and coaching staffs have to separate. Cards will be handed out and security will have to be called. And some fireworks to end our weekend here in Wilson, North Carolina. You could sense a little bit of frustration on the Fullerton side, and that's usually when it comes out with the physical contact and punches thrown, and they were grappling and wrestling down there in the mud. And we'd like to apologize for any language that our microphones might have picked up. Both these squads. It's pretty clear, and this one ending in quite a bit of controversy here at the 83rd minute. U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament you've been watching on Torbo Sports Network. Until next time, I'm Jeff Childs saying so long.